Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to Send Him Off. Another week, another episode. As I always say, my name is Sam, and joining me, as always, is my ever-present podcasting partner, Alex. How are you doing? How's your week?
It's been all right, yeah. I'm a bit tired after the gym earlier, but, it's all right. It's got to be done. But today, we've been waiting for this day for a long old time, haven't we?
We have.
We have been excited for this day. Sam, take it away.
Yeah. So today we're joined by a very special guest. We're joined by a stand-up comedian, and I was going to say long-suffering Manchester United fan, but I don't think he's been suffering for
It's
that
not
long.
that long, yeah.
Recently suffering Manchester United fan, Eshaan Akbar. How you doing, mate? Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. I'm delighted to be here. I've just put an aubergine parmigiana in the oven, which I made from scratch. Thank you very much.
Oh, there we are.
So
in other words, you can't stay for too long and go shoot off. There we are. Fair enough.
I've got my brother on oven watch in case the house burns down. But I'm really looking forward to chatting to you both about football. Yeah.
We are.
It's about time someone was, I suppose.
Yeah. we are very much looking forward to it. So you hear Eshaan for what football means to me. But I just want to get your views as a United fan on the situation at Old Trafford at the minute. Obviously, a bit of a low point at the moment. Ten Hag, though, announced for next season. What are your views on that? Are you all for it, or?
So look, I am excited about Ten Hag, but the issue I have with Man United is how sudden it was, how sudden it feels that since Ferguson walked out the door, everything just went completely collapsed on itself. It's like, when you've had a long-term partner and you break up and the next
I don't.
week.
There we are.
There you go.
You got any other analogy?
You have a long-term partner, you're with her, and do you know what? Basically, you fell out of love with each other, but the sex was great for 15 years, right? And then you were like, do you know what? I don't think it's going to work out. She's like, okay, fine, but the sex was great, right? You're like, yeah, the sex was great. And then as soon as you break up, the next week, she's with someone else. And you're like, well, hold on a minute. It was so quick. I thought that meant something. So that's the thing that I'm slightly worried about. But Ten Hag's appointment, it could be just yet another pointless appointment unless we change everything at the club. And I think if you follow football, pretty much everybody's been saying the same thing, is unless things change top to bottom, unless the commercial interests of the club are separated from the football interests of the club, it might not make even an iota of difference.
Well, I was saying the same thing. It's got to be a total thing, top to bottom, and more top really. But I mean, we've all heard what Gary Neville's been saying in the news and Sky Sports and things like that. But I do want to see Ten Hag do well because I like his philosophy of football, etc. But I don't know. We'll see.
But also one thing, like as United, I follow a lot of United forums. One thing that I feel like Ragnick slightly got away with it a bit.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I feel like people look. Ultimately, Ragnick he's a technician. He's a student of the game, and he's been very good at highlighting the issues that exist within the club. Which, by the way, Jose Mourinho also did, but he did it in a very Mourinho way. But man management and managing the resources you have at your disposal, that's something you have to do. Gus Hiddink had to do loads of
I was about to bring him up. I was literally just about to bring him up before you did, but go on.
Yeah, Gus Hiddink was parachuted into so many clubs with loads of issues. Chelsea aren't the easiest club to manage a football team in, but he did it, and he did very well. And Ancelotti's also, let's not talk about Everton, but Ancelotti's done a good job wherever he's gone on the whole. To me, Ragnick, it's all well and good him being this guy who's straight talking, but he's also this is a side that finished second last season. This is a side that, aside from Ronaldo, even though Solskjaer was there, but aside from Ronaldo, went to the latter stages of loads of competitions. And you're thinking, well, are United just fans being a bit easy on Ragnick?
Are they being easy on Ragnick, or are they throwing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer under the bus?
That's a good question. I hope it's not throwing Ole under the bus, because for the first time since Ferguson left, I got excited about being a United fan under Ole.
Yeah?
Yeah, there were these matches where even if we conceded a goal, you're like, yeah, but we'll score. We might lose, but we'll score.
Yeah.
the PSG game. Like, there were loads of games where you're like, yeah, this is United. We weren't great. Of course we weren't. But there was something about the way Solskjaer went about his business where you were like, it feels like something is happening. And we knew that he was not going to take us to the next level, but I would have hoped that he would have taken us to a level where someone could pick up the baton, and that's not what's happened.
I think most people could see that Ollie wasn't the answer necessarily, but I think since he's gone, it's become abundantly clear that he definitely wasn't the problem. So I think like it's a level of hindsight. Would they probably be where they are now, still with him in charge?
Maybe, but also in footballing terms, I think this is a step down for Ten Hag in footballing terms. You know, he's left guaranteed Champions League team for a team. I think I'd really want us to finish out of the Europa Conference League places. I don't want us to qualify for Europe next year.
Really?
We're not going to get, if we don't get Champions League,
you don't want nothing.
because it's just going to put so much pressure on the squad.
Okay, I thought you were doing it from like a pride point of view, like Europa League. You're too good for that. Manchester United.
We're not too good for the Europa League now.
Fair play.
It's an interesting team.
It is.
We're not.
It is
to talk about.
We might have you back if you want to talk about Man United.
I think 100%. You know, if we don't piss you off within the next half hour. So, so we'll start the what football means to me line of questioning. We'll start with our quick fire questions, which are something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. So first of all, something old. So Eshaan, your favourite retired football player, please.
Now these don't have to be Man United players. They can be wherever, from all across the globe, whatever league you choose.
Okay, this is very interesting. It's going to be very difficult for me to choose one. But if I was pushed, it would probably be Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
I don't think this generation of foot, and I feel like my dad now, like an old man. But
I know exactly what you're going to say, though. I know exactly what you're going to say. You don't get that kind of baller anymore. They don't make them like him anymore.
That kind of entertainment.
Yeah.
Entertainment factor. You know, there were times where I'd watch players like Ronaldinho, Zidane, Pirlo, and something magic was going to happen. Now there's so much fitness, and look, these players are athletes, but I feel like I'm watching athletes play football, not footballers.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like Ronaldinho was. He got you on the edge of your seat. He'd do something ridiculous. Even Rivaldo would score an overhead kick that got you the title at Barcelona. And you think, these are the moments that you live for. So if I had to pick one, someone who I would always watch, it would be Ronaldinho. But, you know, shout out to Zidane, shout out to Cantona, shout out even to Thierry Henry, even though he's an Arsenal scumbag. But those kind of players were the ones I grew up watching. And I feel very privileged to have watched.
Yeah, 100% agree. Couldn't agree more.
So that's just something old, something new. So your favourite current player, please.
I'm really struggling.
He's definitely not gone to United for this one. Or he might have done, actually. Cristiano Ronaldo. That's fair enough.
Yeah. Put it this way. Bukayo Saka recently said, I want to emulate the current career Messi has had because emulating Ronaldo's is impossible.
Yeah.
And I think that gives a measure of where Ronaldo is. I mean, when he joined United first time and became the player he became before he moved to Real, I'd never seen anything like it. It was just ridiculous. Even then, before he became hench at Real, he still had unbelievable upper body strength.
Yeah.
It was very difficult to get the ball off him. And he was doing it at pace. You know, Ronaldinho, for example, he was quick and he could get people off, but not in the kind of direct way that Ronaldo did. So it would have to be, like, maybe not this season, although he's been arguably our best player, but in this, he's not retired yet. So I would have to say Cristiano.
The GOAT.
Okay. The GOAT. The official GOAT, according to Eshaan.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So something else.
Something borrowed. So your favourite loan player that you've had on loan. So this is Man United.
Probably Ibrahimovic.
Yeah, it's a shout.
Who was a free transfer? Larson then. Was Larson on loan? Who was our best player on loan?
Falcao was on loan.
Yeah, Falcao. Yeah.
This is the thing. We normally do this with the, clubs, like smaller clubs.
Yeah, like Swansea. We've had loads of them.
Yeah. I tell you who my favourite player was on loan, Andy Gorham.
Andy Gorham.
He was a goalkeeper who came from Rangers. He was about 67.
Right.
And he was diabolical. Like, it was...
I've never heard of him. Never heard of him.
Andy Gorham. I'm sure he was a loan signing. I don't think he was a free transfer.
For the purposes of this question, he was a loan signing.
Yeah, for the purposes of this question, he was a loan signing. So Andy Gorham was a goalkeeper. He played for Rangers, I believe. A Scottish guy, very old school Scottish guy. By the time he joined us, he should have retired. Like, His fingers
were falling off and all the rest of it. Like,
he was like a thin Neville Southall now. If you can imagine such a thing.
Amazing.
You know, this is the other thing. Like, have you seen, like, on TikTok and stuff, people put like football conspiracy theories? Mine is that there is not a Scottish goalkeeper, particularly playing in the Scottish Premier League, who is under the age of 36.
Yeah,
they're all old.
Yeah, like they're all really old.
They're all old.
Yeah. Andy Gorham came on as a sub, and I can't remember who it was against. And we were wearing the black kit back then. And it took him so long to run
the O2 or the Vodafone, like
yeah.
I thought so. Yeah.
It took him so long to run to the goalpost. I think they added like 3 extra minutes of added time. Like, this guy's taking fucking ages. What's the added time for, Andy Gorham?
He just made his way to the. Had to get back to the goals. Oh my days!
Oh, right. So ask you something borrowed.
Yeah.
What is it now?
Potentially something blue.
Blue. Yeah.
Player you were saddest to see leave.
David Beckham. Well,
really?
Beckham. It's between Beckham, Van Nistelrooy, and Jaap Stam.
See, David Beckham, I find he didn't have a left foot.
He didn't need a left foot. Good
point.
He didn't need a left foot, and if you speak to any players who played around Beckham, they were like, he was unbelievable. I think because he looked a bit languid, didn't look the quickest, but when you had Beckham in your side, any moment could turn into something ridiculous because his range of passing was just unsurpassed. Mm-hmm. When Van Nistelrooy went, I feel like all three of them went at the peak of their powers. Van Nistelrooy got 150 goals in 200 games. He had a strop. He was just a goal machine, the guy. He wasn't the most exciting to watch. Jaap Stam, on the other hand, oh man, when we sold him, I thought it was going to be the end of Man United. Because this guy had speed, strength, grace. He could tackle. He was like Vidic and Ferdinand rolled into one player.
He was good, wasn't he?
He was just so good. And players looked scared of going up against him. He just had a scary look about him. And so on balance, it would be between, I'd probably actually Stam and Beckham. But if I had to be pushed for one, just because, I'm an England fan and I know what Beckham means to me, he grew up not far from where I grew up. So it'd probably have to be David Beckham.
It's a fair answer. I'd love to have, particularly as Swansea fans this season, we don't have a set piece taker. Like there's no.
We didn't know what penalty taker was up until last week.
Yeah.
So,
but also the thing is he was absolutely a set piece taker. But a lot of what Beckham gave to United, people underestimate, which was that he was the second assist. Forget the first assist. He was the guy who would break up a defence with a pass that would allow Giggs or Scholes or Butt to make the final pass. But he would have such a good read of the pitch and be able to cut across. It was amazing to watch. When Beckham did something, it was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
What a player.
Fair play. Those are good answers, weren't they? Those quick
They
fires.
were good answers, yeah.
They were.
Thanks, mate.
Into the nitty-gritty. Alex,
yes.
do you want to go?
Right, I'm kicking off. What is your earliest football memory?
My earliest football memory, as in my own or of watching football?
The earliest you can remember where football was involved.
Involved in my life. Okay, so I would have been 5, maybe 6 years old.
Okay.
And I was in my cousin's back garden in East London, and he told me that he was going to be West Ham.
Right.
And I was going to be Man United, and I was like, all right, I'm Man United.
And that's where that happened.
That's where that started. That's why
Yeah,
I'm one of those
brilliant
scumbags. And I didn't, to be honest, I wasn't really into football between the age of like 6 and I'd say 10 or 11. And then I got into secondary school and we had football trials, and it turned out I was pretty good.
Okay.
I wasn't bad at all. And when my coach first told me, "Hey, you're not bad. You're fat and slow, but you're not bad," I was like, "All right, this is exciting." And that's when I started playing football. And actually, I think one of the greatest pains of my life is my football coach likened me to an ex-Liverpool player, which to this day rankles with me. A guy called Jan Melby, who was this overweight central midfielder.
Yeah.
But he could pick a pass. I tell you, he could pick a pass.
That was it, was it?
Yeah,
Alex,
that was it.
Jan Mulvey is the guy who we went to an after dinner like thing with Dean Saunders was speaking the other day, and they'd done an auction at the end. And
one of his shirt.
Yeah, nobody bought.
No one bid on it. No one bid on his shirt.
Jan! That's so
It's
sad.
a shame you weren't there. Actually,
Nobody knew.
the only one.
Mate, I would have bought it to and donated to charity because I don't want any Liverpool thing. But yeah, Jan Robbie was the guy I was liking to. But yeah, I would say that from 6 was my first proper, and then around 10 when I like fell in love with football, and then started buying Panini sticker albums. And I also remember the '94 World Cup, which would have been when I was 10 years old. England weren't in it, but I remember the Irish player who scored. I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. But he scored for Ireland, and I remember that. I remember Baggio missing the penalty.
See, these are all things like we just watch on like ESPN Classic. You know, I've
I know.
It's
How old
mad.
are you boys? How old are you boys?
23.
Oh wow, yeah, okay, fine. So a whole decade. So '94 would have been my first World Cup.
That's mad. That's mad.
Was Al, out of interest, what's the first World Cup you remember?
First World Cup I remember, I blatantly remember going into year 2 the day after the 2006 World Cup final, and
With
Mrs.
Zidane.
Miss Davis said, "Oh, did anyone watch the football yesterday, boys?" Yes, Mrs. Davis, we all watched. He headbutted the player. Yeah. That's right. That was the first World Cup I remember.
Me too. Exactly the same. So there we are. That's the earliest football memory. So what has been the biggest high of your time as a football fan?
There has to be a load for you.
Yeah.
There are quite a few. Of course, '99, the treble, and the Champions League final. I remember when Sheringham tiptoed that goal in. I screamed so loud, and my brother was asleep. My mum had put my brother to sleep. I screamed so loud, my mum ran downstairs, got a rolling pin, and hit me across the back of the legs with it. But I was screaming, and I had screaming both in joy and pain. With massive red
agony,
mark on the back of my leg. So that's one. And look, supporting United, I know, I'm in my late 30s now. I've been very blessed. There have been so many amazing moments being a United fan, but without a shadow of a doubt, '99 was just unfathomable. And right now, I know exactly how Liverpool fans are feeling
because you remember it,
flipping quadruple potentially.
Yeah,
but I really hope. I've said to a lot of my Liverpool friends, if Liverpool do it, I'm leaving the country for a year. I can't.
It will be unbearable.
It would be absolute agony, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I couldn't bear it.
I couldn't because the Liverpool train. This is going to be. It has to be about what football means to me. A big part of what football means to me is hating Liverpool.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Sam's exactly the same. He can't stand Liverpool. He doesn't like Brentford too much either, but he can't stand Liverpool.
Brentford.
Yeah, can't stand Liverpool. But even when when United were dominant, Liverpool were always in the conversation for some reason. We always heard from Liverpool pundits, and I'm like, well, what? They've got nothing to do with this. And anyway, so now it's going to be unbearable. But anyway, I'd have to say '99. I don't think anything has really eclipsed that.
Moscow
was incredible and hilarious.
Yeah, I thought so.
I think
the comeback.
To be honest,
well, no, it wasn't. Was it? No, it wasn't, because you scored first, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we scored first. Ronaldo. Wes Brown with the
Was
assist, no less.
Lovely bit of football trivia there.
Yeah, Wes Brown with the assist, no less.
When John Terry stepped up, I'd kind of resigned myself that we'd lost. And what was different from 99 was that it was just so much funnier. And I remember just laughing when we won it. I don't know what it was. It was just funny. Whereas at 99, I was still quite young, and it was just elation of it being a third trophy.
The biggest one.
The biggest one. All three of them, yeah. So
fair enough. That is fair enough.
Not a bad football high.
Now, to the total other end of the spectrum, what has been your lowest point as a Man United / football fan?
Am I allowed to say the last 6-7 years?
Yeah, by all means, yeah.
I would have to. It was more recent. It was the defeat at Anfield a couple of weeks ago. I don't think
that was the lowest point.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I don't remember a United performance that bereft of anything. You know, afterwards, Roy Keane and Gary Neville were like, "This isn't the United I saw. This isn't the United I know." Mm-hmm. And I felt the same thing. I was like, "This isn't. I'm not watching Man United now. Liverpool haven't beaten Man United. They've beaten a shadow of a football team. I don't know who these people are." And sure, when we lost to Watford, look, I had to watch 6-1 against Man City. I had to watch some horrible results under Ferguson. But it still felt like United.
It was still United. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It was still Man United. Yeah.
Whereas this defeat against Liverpool just felt like
Man United off wish.
Yeah, and a lot of Liverpool fans were a bit like, "Yeah, we hammered you, but was it you?"
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying. As if like Scooby Doo's going to turn up and you pull the mask off, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I'd never felt as low, but the low I felt was kind of a resignation. It wasn't.
I think that's worse, isn't it? That's almost worse.
It's like when you'd rather your dad was angry than disappointed.
Yeah.
And I got to the point of like, I'm not angry anymore.
I'm just, I'm just fed up with it now.
Like, say what you want to say to me. I don't give a shit anymore.
Do you know what? I think that's probably the lowest point we've had. It's not like a low point. It's like, I can't be arsed anymore. I can't even be asked to be low about it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm just so done.
I'm fed up with it now. I might take up bowls or something.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, well, right.
Right, sorry.
Bring it up a bit again. What's been your best away day?
Best away day? Oh, it's a very good question. Best away day. There's been a few good ones. It would have been at Highbury.
Okay.
United Arsenal. John O'Shea lobbing the keeper.
Oh, I remember that one. I think I saw a clip of that one actually.
Yeah.
Of all the people, John O'Shea as well, like.
Yeah, and I think that's what made it so much more enjoyable.
Hmm.
And that effectively sealed the title for us that season. And it was at Highbury, proper rivalry. And Highbury's was an amazing stadium to go to. There was so much character in that place. Mm. It was all old and crumbly. They needed to change it, but it was old and crumbly, and we were right up there, right against the place. You could almost smell them. They were so close. That was one of my favourite away days. Absolutely, United Arsenal at Highbury, and John O'Shea lobbing the keeper.
What a memory!
There we are. Yeah, cracking memory. What's on your football bucket list? I mean, if there is anything left. I mean, you've literally been at the very top and the very bottom. You've done everything. So
I don't know about the very bottom, mate.
Well, not the very bottom. Yeah, to be fair.
A bit extreme.
To be fair.
I'll tell you one low that I did have is the Champions League final in Moscow. Rio Ferdinand actually invited me to go and watch.
What?
And I couldn't go.
Oh.
I wasn't allowed to.
Oh, whoa.
Okay.
How did he? Where did that come from? There, how does that come about? Rio Ferdinand just.
So before I became a comedian, I was a banker, and I was a banker to footballers, actors, and actresses. And my biggest area was football because I'm a big football fan. And Rio Ferdinand was one of my clients. So his 5 magazine and it was Five magazine and his clothing line. I helped launch and get some finance for him to sort that out. And in fact, I helped Anton Ferdinand make spaghetti when he moved to Sunderland.
Lovely.
Amazing. What a life you've
that
lived.
is right. Even if that's not elaborated on, that's the best anecdote we've ever had on what football means to me.
Exactly. I was going to say exactly the same. Whether or not you carry that on or if it goes anywhere, I don't care. You've helped Anton Ferdinand make spaghetti. Amazing.
And Rio Ferdinand was very kind, and we'd done some good work for him, and he offered some tickets for us to go to Moscow and watch the final. And I basically, at the time, the bank I was working for were going through a lot of investigations about their relationship with certain clients, and they were very, very strict about gifts that we were getting from clients. And there was a heartbreaking day when I was like, I can't go.
I bet you thought your boss was a total banker.
Absolute top level banker. When the financial crisis happened, I was happy he lost his job, actually. But then I lost mine a week later. Yeah.
Every cloud, did it?
Yeah. Then I lost mine a week later. Oh, well, never mind.
It worked out in the end. Football bucket list to circle back to the point.
Oh, yeah, so football bucket list. I want to go to a World Cup in like South America.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be really fun. Like at this
amazing,
age now. I'd love to go to like Brazil, Mexico, watching football, seeing football being played in the sand. I think that's one thing I would love to be able to do. And I would love to go to a Champions League final with United.
So like go to the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, flat out.
One time in my lifetime now, I'd like to see that happen.
I think that's the difference between an Englishman and a Welshman there.
Yeah, I know.
Specified, I'd like to go to a World Cup in South America. I just like to go to a World Cup, to be honest with
we
you,
haven't
mate.
even qualified yet, so we're just happy to be on the fringe so far.
Yeah, I'll go to a World Cup in Newport. Fine.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Any old place.
Anyway. Right. This is my question.
Yes, his favourite question.
So who or what is your football guilty pleasure? And then on the flip side, who or what would you put in football room 101?
Football guilty pleasure, who or what? These are good questions.
Thank you.
What can I say?
Who is my football guilty pleasure? I would have to say, and this is probably showing my age a bit, but my football guilty pleasure is Robbie Fowler.
Ooh.
Oh, right, because he's Liverpool.
Yeah, because he's Liverpool. Okay. I hated him. But, that left foot and his finishing was just such a joy to watch. And he's probably one of the only Liverpool players I would take in my all-time United 11.
Mm.
Okay.
And I don't want to, because he's Liverpool's comeback, but he is definitely my guilty pleasure. Yeah. I hate to admit it, I loved watching Robbie Fowler play. I thought it was absolutely amazing.
He was superb, wasn't he?
He's quality. He's everything I don't like in a player, though. He played for Liverpool and then he played for Cardiff. So
right,
yeah. I forgot about that actually.
Yeah,
double whammy. No, I agree with you though. It's a good shout. Now, room 101.
Room 101, I would put like football statisticians in room 101.
Oh, nice. Amazing. Yeah, straight in there. XP.
Expected.
I don't care. I'm not interested.
Nah, that stat is absolute chuff, innit?
Absolute chuff. I just football statisticians, ergo football Twitter. They've ruined football for me.
Yeah,
it's just not fun anymore. And like, what they do is they apply historical things to say someone like Beckham or Scholes or even your Gerrards or Lampards, and they're like, oh yeah, but they haven't got De Bruyne numbers, and you're like.
Numbers and numbers, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. But it circles back to what you said about Ronaldinho.
Yeah,
he didn't give a rat's about numbers.
No,
he went on that football field to enjoy himself.
Oh, so even as a United fan, for example, someone like Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp is nowhere near any of the top lists statistically for anything. But my God, he was a player and a half, and he made that team tick. You'd love to watch him. So for me, it would have to be football statisticians and those data scientists. I don't want to swear, but they can leave football alone.
Yeah.
They can go away politely.
How ruddy dare you?
Oh well.
There we go.
Alex, I think it's
Is it
your
my
question.
turn? Yeah. Right. Very broad question. I say this all the time. What does the game mean to you?
This is going to end up becoming more serious than I intended it to be because I'm a comedian. I try to be funny, but football as a brown kid growing up in England at the time I did in the 90s was my way of building bridges with people that ordinarily might not like me for whatever reason. And going to the kind of school I did was a very posh school, loving football as much as I did, and then having quite a studious approach to understanding the game and understanding who scored. You know, Football Manager, Championship Manager also helped me knowing which players went to which clubs and what blah, 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 blah. It helped me find a place amongst a group of people where I ordinarily wouldn't have a place. So one of the last games I went to watch West Ham play Millwall at Upton Park. And for those who are uninitiated, that is a properly racist rivalry. They're two.
Yeah.
They hate each other. And it was the game where when I came out, it looked like a war zone. It was just glass bottles and things on fire. I was like, where am I, Aleppo? What the hell's going on here? It's absolutely ridiculous. But I remember going into a pub and I went into the wrong side of the pub. It's called the Bowling. That was right by Upton Park. Walked into the Bowling and some guy started chanting, and trigger warning, there's going to be a racial slur used here. Some guy started chanting, if you're Paki and you know it, clap your hands. And I clapped my hands. And they did not expect it.
Oh.
And a few of them came and apologised to me afterwards because of that's the way I reacted to it. And I was like, well, you should talk to your mates. I'm here to I'm a football fan. And I'm here for this. And not that I'm saying that I like the fact that they like me now, but if I hadn't... Football is a microcosm, and used to be, certainly, the microcosm of working class Britain. And being able to immerse myself in that world gave me a better understanding of how people who put their whole wage packet on going to follow their team, what motivates them. And I think ultimately, as a comedian, it's actually helped me that now I have a fan base, I think, which you wouldn't expect. On paper, I'm a privately educated former banker who does comedy on television. I have no reason to have a bunch of working class scousers being like, you're a fucking top lad, you are. But I actually think football's helped me, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, if you see me on Twitter, I'm very vocal about how much I love United and hate certain other teams. But because I've connected with these people, they also connect with me and they get that it's from a good place. So football, I think football means so much more to me than just following a football team. It's really helped me find my place in Britain. And for that, I'm eternally grateful.
What an answer.
Cracking answer.
I mean, that is something that obviously as two white boys, we could never
you can't
put
relate,
ourselves
especially
in those shoes. But
in the area we're in, it's all white where we are.
Yeah.
A majority is, you know.
But the football community, I always think I sound so cheesy when you talk about this, and but like there really is a community, and I think like, you know, the way particularly obviously the dreadful whatever you know, the circumstances Cristiano Ronaldo's been through at the minute, you know, losing his little baby, but the Liverpool fans when they came together the other day, that is what we're on about when we say a football community. That there, and I think like I had goosebumps, man. I had proper goosebumps watching that, and I just think it can be, you know, for all the bad press it gets with, you know, even the racism and the sexism and stuff, for all that bad stuff which needs fixing, there is so much good in the
absolutely.
football community.
I mean, look, I've gone to. I remember one particular memory I have is I was supporting Rory Bremner, who's the impressionist, and Jan Ravers in Plymouth, and United were playing Juventus in the Champions League. Remember those days? We were playing Juventus. And I did the gig, and after the gig, I said to the sound engineer, I said, "Oh, is there a pub nearby I can go to where I can go and watch the game?" And he came up to me and he said, "Look, I don't think it's going to be safe for you to go to a pub round here because they're not the nicest sort. And I was like, well, that's sad that I can't go. I might go to the hotel. But then half an hour later, he was like, no, do you know what? If you want to go to a pub and watch the game, you're going to go to the pub and watch the game. We're going to make sure that you're okay. And he called a few of his mates and said, take this guy to the local and watch the game. So I went in and there were 3 white guys with me. I walked in and you know how sometimes they show in films like you can hear a fork drop on a plate? A fork definitely dropped on a plate. I was in there. And I sat down, I got myself a pint, sat down, started watching United. There was a real silence. And all I said was, who's United here then? And 2 lads from the corner who weren't too bad, they were like, we are. I was like, Pogba's shit, isn't he? I'm like, yeah. And lo and behold, had a great night.
Yeah.
Had a great night. And that was a really special moment. I was like, football
it's
helps.
mad. It's so mad, isn't it?
It shouldn't take that. Of course it shouldn't.
It shouldn't. Yeah, no, it shouldn't have to. Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, it shouldn't have to have you say one snidey thing or one, clever remark to be able to make everybody feel comfortable. It shouldn't have to be like that. But that's what football can do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. They just care that I'm a red, not a brown.
Yeah, exactly. The brown two went out the window. As long as he's red, don't worry about it. Dear me.
Wow. Right. Okay. So back on track.
Where were we?
What has been, Eshaan, your favourite football moment of the season? It's been quite a bleak season for your boys, I think. But is there one moment you could pick out?
Favourite football moment this season?
Again, it doesn't have to be. If somebody could have slipped over in the crowd, anything. You could have been sat in front of an old woman whose wig fell out. Anything you like.
Imagine it.
Yeah, I tried my best.
Yeah, I know. Favourite football moment. Let me think. Let me think. I need to think of something. This season has been such a blur where I've tried to
just haven't watched any football. Yeah,
I've watched football, but I haven't enjoyed most of the football. This is a tricky game. You might have to edit this bit out.
I'm not that good at editing, mate.
I'm even worse.
When was it? Liverpool must have lost. When did Liverpool lose this season?
Liverpool must have lost.
Just any of Liverpool's defeats.
What we'll do, we'll just when Liverpool lost to, and then
we just have like the TikTok guy going like Watford. Sorted.
Actually, best football moment when Harry Maguire made 1 tackle. Oh yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Stick that one in the old collector's item.
There you go, Harry Maguire. 1 for the DVD. Look, I don't want any player to have to go through what Maguire's gone through with bomb threats and stuff. We don't need that. We don't need that. But he has been diabolical. It is.
I was talking to the boys. Me and Sam mentioned this, and I said this on the last episode we were on. I think, Manchester United bought a player in Maguire that wasn't suited to Manchester United. Completely agree with you. He has not been up to it when he's been at Man United. But I think Manchester United have ruined the career of Harry Maguire. Slew me. Go ahead.
Quite possibly. I see that. But he did also nutmeg himself against Man City. And then they scored. You're like, how? Yeah. Why? Just clear the ball.
Don't take the mic, Harry. Hey, come on. Don't take the mic with us. We can defend you to a certain point. Oh, dear. Yeah, I forgot about that.
There we are. So Harry Maguire
dug me out a bit there, didn't he?
Making 1 tackle.
Cheers, Eshaan.
I suppose the next question is yours, Alex. But I think asking a Man United fan this probably is like asking, do you want to lose your right foot or your left foot?
Yeah. Who is going to win the Premier League? Or actually, I was going to ask that one. Yeah, I'm going to say, who do you think will win it, and who do you want to win it?
I think, look, I want neither of them to win it, but of the
physically
two,
impossible.
Yeah, but of the two, I want Man City to win it.
Right.
Because when Man City win anything, it makes zero difference to me.
Yeah.
Nothing. I feel nothing. I feel a nothingness. I'm just like, okay, well,
it's just a numbness.
It's just absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
To be fair, even when Man City beat us, I'm a bit like,
that's a shame.
That's a shame. When we were winning Champions Leagues, you were losing to Gillingham. Like, I don't give a flying toss about you. Anyone but Liverpool.
Anyone but Liverpool. Fair enough.
Anyone but Liverpool. My goodness. I can't even begin to tell you the physical pain I feel in my heart when Liverpool do anything remotely positive.
Really?
Yeah.
Anything remotely positive. Amazing. That is one of my favourite quotes.
The Ronaldo thing, right? Where they were, showing respect for Ronaldo's baby. I was like, you know what? I get it. Objectively, it's a nice gesture.
Right.
But they're such a fucking emotional club. Aren't they? Everything is just, crying and this and singing and it's just too much.
It can't.
To be fair, right, I'm not a big Liverpool lover at all, right? But as a Welshman, I can get on board with the emotions and the singing. It's kind of
the singing,
what we do. Enough. Like, it's kind of what we're known for. So I can't really
I love singing. Yeah, I sing. There's videos on my Instagram of me singing. But something about Liverpool is just too much.
If Liverpool was a person, they'd have a punchable face. Is that what you're saying?
If Liverpool was a person, they'd be Andy Robertson.
Andy Robertson.
The world's most punchable face.
Yeah, okay. He embodies Liverpool.
He's taken the John Terry mantle and gone, hold my beer. This is how punchable someone's face can be. Andy Robertson. I love Messi. I don't know as much as I love Ronaldo, but when Andy Robertson pushed Messi's head, I was like, who? What? You played for Dundee.
So I'm guessing that Eshaan doesn't really like Liverpool.
I'm gonna put a little disclaimer.
I'm just getting the vibes,
There's a small hint in the air.
Just a little, a little
waft. Yeah.
Right. So last question.
Final question.
Of all the football memories, it doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest high you described earlier. Just what is your favorite football memory?
Oh, this is a very good question. This is I'm just gonna go with the one that came into my head.
Go on.
It was when Eric Cantona kicked that Crystal Palace fan. Do you know why?
You couldn't have. You could have given me 100 years, right? I would not have said. I was fully expecting to say, when my cousin made me go Manchester United and he was West Ham, and it all started up. No, it wasn't. It was when Eric Cantona kicked the Palace fan.
Yeah. Because do you know what? Like, I
really thought we were onto a sweet moment there. I genuinely thought it was going to be a really nice end to everything. I will all go happy, holding hands into the. Yeah. No, it wasn't.
It was. Do you know what? It was great because, and this is the thing, like, when they talk about how should people deal with racism in football, like that would help. Kick the fan in the face, right?
And I agree with that. I do agree with that.
And the thing is, people are like, oh, he's a role model. He shouldn't be doing this. The reason I loved it is because United, we were at the peak of our powers. Eric Cantona was the king, and he came back and he scored against Liverpool. It was bloody great. And he got suspended, and people were like, and then he came out with his ridiculous Seagulls quote. I can't even remember now. But it was so good because it just showed you can be Eric Cantona, just like Zinedine Zidane did with Materazzi, but there's a limit.
Yeah.
There's a limit, and football players are fallible and human too. I thought Cantona was God. And then he did that, and I was like, oh, he's just like me. I would do that.
Yeah.
And Zidane was the same. Zidane was like another god to me. I was like, this guy's unbelievable. And he turned it in a World Cup final, his final game in his
last
career.
Ever. Yeah.
And he headbutts a player, and you think to yourself, that is amazing. That makes him human.
Yeah.
And Cantona was the first time where I was like, I love football. I love footballers. I treat them like God, but actually they're also human as well. And he kicked that fan, and I wish he'd kicked him even harder.
What
I couldn't have
note to end that
asked.
on.
Yeah, I could have asked for a better end to this, to be honest with you.
Superb.
Amazing. Wouldn't have seen it coming,
Superb.
but I wouldn't change it for the world.
Neither did the fan. So
Neither did the fan, yeah. And it's not even like I think he telegraphed that kick to a certain extent. You know, he went straight. He wasn't going down the tunnel. He was going for him. So hey.
Oh god.
Amazing.
Eshaan, has been an absolute blast. I've had
a superb
time of my life.
Brilliant.
It's been a pleasure, mate. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you want to take a couple of moments just to plug your social media, any upcoming gigs or whatever? Take it away.
Yeah, sure. Please go on my website, eshaanakbar.com. Got loads of gigs coming up. I'm looking to go on tour very, very soon. So find me on all the socials. I'm called Michael Packentire. And you'll find.
I'm glad you did that, because if you asked that, do you want to do my thing? No, we won't. We'll leave that to you.
I'm called Michael Packentire. Find me there. So yeah, please do follow me. I've got loads of fun stuff coming up, and especially on Twitter, I do a lot of Liverpool shit posting. So if you like that, get involved.
It is, yeah, I'm a big fan of it.
Amazing.
Right,
oh
there
gosh,
we
there we
another
go.
week, another one done now.
Another one done. What a superb episode this was.
It was a
I'm
good
going to enjoy this one.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. If you did enjoy, there's plenty more where that came from. If
yes,
drop us a follow on Twitter at Send Him Off Pod, Instagram Send Him Off Podcast. Find us on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you're listening now. Drop us a follow, drop us a like. Otherwise, you can't come back next week.
We'll send Eric Cantona around.
Yeah, we will. We'll send Eric Cantona around. Yeah, thank you guys for listening. It's been a fun one tonight. I've really enjoyed. We'll be back next week. We never know what's in store, but you'll find out eventually.
You'll see. Thank
you guys for listening. Take care. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your football, and have a lovely one. Ta-da.
Take care.